Hey there, it's Trisha, and I'm going to go over the trades for Thursday, June 4th. And if you'd like to check out the setups that we use, you can go to www.easyemintrade.com. I've got quite a few trades to go over for Thursday. The first trade that I took was at about 9:50 in the morning, and we had a squeeze firing off to the short side on the 512 tick chart. And so we took it, and I wanted to get filled at 931.50. Actually got 930.75, and my targets when I've been taking the squeezes either on the 200 or the 512 have been +1, +2, and then just move my stop accordingly or just flatten when I see the trade go against me. So I actually got filled at 930.75, saw the trade going against me and exited for a 1 point loss. But I know quite a few of you got in at 931.50 and you got your +1 at least, so that worked out fine. Next trade that I took was at about 10:05 thereabouts, and I took this short squeeze right here, and I did want to point out on the first squeeze that I took, you'll notice it was over here on one of these bars over here on the longer tick chart, but I did not notice that the our longer period moving average was right below me. Had I noticed that, I would have waited to break through that to look for a trade. And that's when it is very beneficial to go back and look at all your trades and take notes and just kind of, pick them apart a little bit, because then you'll notice, why a trade might not have worked, or a trade that you had passed up on worked out. So always good to go back and look at that. So definitely, I would not have entered that if I had paid attention and saw that moving average was right below me, and that was on one of these bars over here. So anyway, this short squeeze set up, taking it off my smaller tick chart, and it also coincides with a trend line break here. And anytime that I can take a squeeze over a trend line break, I'm going to, because my stop is going to be smaller using the squeeze. So that one worked out. Just fine. I got my +1, and then when I saw it going against me, I flattened and exited. So I got a +1 on that on 1/3 and break even on 2/3. I actually didn't get a great fill on that one either. I was trying to get in at 929.75 and got in at 929.25, but still worked out okay. The next trade that I took was actually a trend line break on the longer tick chart, and that was about 10:24, 10:25. And you'll notice that you have a squeeze firing off almost at the same time, but the problem is that you can't take that squeeze because that bar is not closed yet on our longer tick chart. You don't know if it's going to, how it's really going to close, because right now we're not technically in an uptrend on the longer tick chart, so that wouldn't be something that I would be interested in taking as a squeeze, but I would be interested in taking it as a trend line break. And so that's what I did. When I got this bar closed above the trend line, entered in a 0.5 point above there and went sideways for quite a while. Actually, I got a little tired of waiting, and so I got my +1 and exited at break even on my remaining 2/3. However, many people were able to just sit through this, and they got their +2 and +4, so it worked out to be a nice trade. Everything's in line to take that, so that actually worked out to be pretty nice. And where the holdup was, actually where we were going sideways here, was right at that pivot point of the floor trader pivots. So it just took a little while to break through there, and I waited 20 minutes. It seems like that's been my threshold for impatience, is 20 minutes. So I think I need to start hanging on just a little bit longer, because obviously, I would have had a much nicer profit if I had waited a little while. The next trade that set up actually was during lunch, and so I know many people trade during lunch. I don't, but I will point this out because a lot of people took it regardless. And so this bar closed above that trend line. Now, on my indicator down here, I'm not in exact alignment to go long at the close of this bar, but that would be a personal choice for somebody if they wanted to jump in or not. It worked out to be a nice trade, but actually what they could have done was they could have taken this squeeze off of our smaller tick chart. Now again, our indicator over here isn't in exact alignment yet. It's looking like it's going to be in alignment. So if you were going to take that, again, you would be jumping the gun just a little bit, but I see exactly why somebody would take that. So again, that would be a personal choice. It's lunchtime, so it's not anything that I would be taking anyway, but if you did take it, it worked out to be a really nice trade. And then I took this squeeze at about 207, 208 in that vicinity. And, when we took it, the MACD and everything was in alignment on our longer tick chart. And so we got a pop up, and then we just pulled right back down. I really thought that at that point we were going to break above this area. So unfortunately it worked out to be a small loss. I just exited as soon as I saw it going against me, so it was just a small loss, like a point. And then after that I wouldn't have been willing to take anything higher unless we got above that area, and I wouldn't have been willing to take anything lower unless it was a trend line break. So that was what's set up for Thursday the 6th, and we definitely encourage everybody to definitely go back and critique every day, whether they took trades or they didn't take trades. Just critique everything, because it definitely helps with the learning process and just noticing different things in your setups, and why certain trades worked out or didn't work out. Sometimes you have a perfect setup and it doesn't work out. Nothing you can do about that. But oftentimes you'll later notice something that stands out that you didn't notice at the time you took the trade. So anyway, you can go into www.easyemintrade.com and check those out.